Hello, welcome to Family. We've got your back. The first episode of 2025. Yay.
Yeah. 2025. Wow.
I know, right? Never thought we'd make it to this day.
No.
Anyway.
Well, we did.
Well, meaning, like when you're 5 years old and you think 2025, that's not a thing.
A million years away.
Right? Anyway. So we're going to try something new. Oh, I'm Michelle Christensen.
Yeah. And I'm Trent Christensen also.
I have a degree in family science, which means I study family life and teach about it and educate people about how to have strong families because, wow.
Families are important.
And they're falling apart. And Trent is a middle school math teacher. Yay. So
yeah.
His life is hard. Anyway. So yeah.
They still don't have to do calculus.
And so this week's episode is about something that he learned in his educating seminars, improvement, whatever they're called.
Yeah, hugely impactful. So because it's the first of the year, a lot of people set resolutions.
Yes, they do.
A lot of people do. And then of course the standing joke is that after a month, they're like,
by the third Friday. It's the third Friday. Because Friday is apparently something. I don't know.
You can take a break on Fridays, right?
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
or whatever.
Yeah, by the third Friday, people are
There's
done.
some good rationalizing that happens for New Year's resolutions and people just don't stick with their goals. And so.
Yeah. So we want to help improve that. So we are going to try a PowerPoint or whatever they're called, slideshow, whatever, and see if it's more helpful for you to
have something to look at.
Yeah.
And,
we're trying to be promoted to polos. We're trying to improve our podcast. That's one of our goals is improving our podcast. And so,
we'll see if it works good.
Let us know if you like the presentation and if it's
multimedia presentation.
There you go. And if it's awkward this first week, we'll obviously
refine.
So anyway, so how do I do this?
That's it.
Yes. Okay. So this week it's goals. And the definition of a goal is I can't read backwards.
The object.
The object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or desired result. Okay, so that's a given, right?
Yeah.
And so with Trent's thing that he's learned is SMART goals.
Well,
have a SMART goal.
And
right?
SMART goals are they're more effective because of the elements that make up a SMART goal, and educators, like every single year. At the beginning of the year, I have to come up with 2 SMART goals that I will work on throughout the course of the whole year. And if they don't fall under if they're not a SMART goal, then they'll be rejected.
Oh, you have to submit them and have them be approved. Interesting.
No, it's because it's part of my teacher evaluations. Like these are the things I'm going to work on, and then I do a mid-year kind of introspection thought and say, how am I doing on my goals? It's just understood. These are the kind of goals that are meaningful and are most effective. And so we try to do our best practices, right?
Right. And so we want to help you be successful.
Yep.
So a SMART goal is specific. Measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And so the first one is specific.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. So it says plan effectively with specific targets in mind. General ideas like, I want to exercise more. That's not a very good goal, right?
Right. Not very good at all.
So, yeah. But I want to exercise 6 days a week for 30 minutes is a better goal, right? It's very specific in what you want to achieve, right? It makes your 6 degree of success greater, right?
Yes.
I don't know how to run this. Okay, so the next one is measurable. Oh, thank you, dear.
Yeah.
All right, so measurable means that you can track your progress and reevaluate along the way, right? And so if your initial idea, you think it's a great idea, and then you start working on it and you're like, let's fix that. And then you need to make it specific again and measurable as well. So,
yeah.
Because if you can't track your progress, you're like, oh, well, it didn't do any good.
Right.
All my efforts didn't do any good.
You get that hit of adrenaline or whatever. You get some kind of chemical reaction when you achieve that specific measurement.
Right.
And so, like, why do you want to not have that? And if this means that you set benchmarks periodically,
exactly, and it's along the
every
way.
Every single time you meet that next benchmark, then you're like, oh yeah, I can do this. I can do, and it's
exactly.
it's a big boost of confidence
and motivation.
So you do have the big end goal, but you can also have those smaller attainable goals throughout that is really, yes, I was able to do this. It's like weight trainers. They do that all the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, they have that goal for whoever knows, I want to get this max weight or whatever. But those small benchmarks, those are measurable still and very much good, right?
Right. And so that leads for all the box tickers out there, you know.
Yeah.
You need that hit of dopamine or adrenaline or whatever it is that you get that will help you keep going. So the next one is attainable.
I think this
actually got to be something you can achieve. It's not like, okay, well, I'm going to make sure that none of my neighbors have dogs. That's not a very good goal.
That's not a goal at all.
That's not an attainable goal.
That's a wish list.
Yeah, that's not something that you can actually achieve, right? And so these are realistic goals that are challenging but achievable, and you can adjust them as time goes on. In the exercising example, right, as you get used to exercising, you can increase the time, right? So it's adjustable. It's something, so like if you've never exercised, right, 30 minutes might be too much.
Right.
Or maybe like a slow walk for 30 minutes instead of running.
Right.
Something like that. So, and then you can increase the difficulty as you work on it. Or you can adjust it to make sure it works, but so that you can actually achieve it, right? It needs to be, I want to be an astronaut and I'm in my 40s. That's not going to happen, right? It's just not going to happen.
Right. And so, and along with that attainable thing, there might be some research you might have to do with regards to that too.
Yeah. It's like, is this something I can actually, will actually happen if I put the effort in, right?
Yeah. And one of my admins in the past had something that was called a BHAG.
Okay.
Big, hairy goal.
Oh, I get it.
So that was the end of year, whatever, maybe even
15-year goal type thing.
Yeah, maybe something hugely significant. But you don't want to have your goal, that's the end result, right? So that's something you have to create a series of steps for as well.
Right. And so your big hairy goal right now is, drum roll please.
Yeah, grad school.
He started today.
Started grad school today.
And he apparently did 2 weeks worth of work this morning.
This morning I did 2 weeks.
So hopefully it'll get done quick. But his big hairy goal is actually attainable. Because one, he's enrolled.
Yeah.
Right? So his goal has been getting his master's for several years, but it just was amorphous and not really.
Right. It wasn't something that was really realistic
at the time.
But now we're settling in. Our house is basically
we're in our house.
We're in our house. Our basement is not something I have to worry about.
Yes, our basement's
And
almost done. And
so there was just too many variables for me to set a goal for grad school and master's
you're pretty
degree.
well versed in the routine of your job, so that
Right.
you know, like,
Yeah.
not transitional type
right,
thing.
and so
you're pretty settled in that you now have the time,
right,
and the desire,
yes,
and the confidence to do it.
Right.
And so that is now an attainable goal.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one, I don't know how to make this go.
I already got it.
Okay, you okay, why is that? All right. The next one is relevant, and he mentioned that earlier, like before it wasn't relevant to our situation.
No.
But now it is. So
so yeah, as life changes, we have things become more relevant.
Yeah, it has to pertain to your life.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just say, I want to be a unicorn when I grow up. Like, that's, not...
I'm not going to set a goal for...
To become a unicorn?
Well, nor is that
attainable goal.
Attainable, yeah. Like, nor am I going to set a goal to, go on a safari.
Yeah, that's not relevant to our life right now.
No.
I mean, it might be someday fun, but it's not going to happen ever. Really.
For you, it's never going to be relevant.
I might want to someday.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
Who knew?
They have that safari thing in California.
That's not really a safari.
It's close enough to what we could do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so is it something you can actually control in your life? Is it something that, for example, like if it's, I want my children to all be married. That's not a goal for you, right? That's
right.
not...
Nor should that be a goal for anybody, because as soon as it's on someone else's
behavior,
then it becomes
choices.
Uncontrollable. I mean, you can do what you can.
I want grandchildren. Yeah, that's not something that's
not
relevant.
in our control.
That's not in my control. So it's not a relevant goal for me.
No.
Wanting grandchildren is a goal of mine, but it's not a smart one.
No.
Right? Like, it's not something that I get to do anything about, right? I can help my children be well-rounded, awesome people that people want to date and marry, and then help them realize how awesome kids are.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's something
it's not something I get to choose, right?
Right.
It happens when it happens, and it's not me being an interfering, this creepy mom isn't gonna help me get grandkids, right? So it's not a goal that is a smart goal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is timely.
Timely.
It's got to be time bound. It has to have an end date, a start date and an end date, right? Like for his grad school, his goal is as soon as possible. Get done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But it needs to be more specific than as soon as possible. Like, okay, year and a half. 2 years.
Yeah, presently my goal is a year and a half.
Right.
And I've communicated that to my advisors, and like they're like, you can do this, but you'll have to be really on top of it. And so to achieve that, he has told me his schedule so that he can get support from me when he's like, I don't want to get up and do this, right? And he's told me the schedule that he's outlined for himself. He's going to get up an hour early or a half hour early or something like that. An hour early. And work while the house is quiet, and then get ready for the day, get ready for the day and then work until the kids are up and whatever, and then he gets everybody off to school, and then he's going to work afterward, and then he's going to at 10 p.m. have 3 hours at night as well that he's going to work on it on 5 days a week or something like that. I think 2 hours in the evening, 1 hour in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, 3 hours a day.
3 hours
right?
a day.
And so he's told me specifically what he wants to have happen, and it has a time limit. And so the year and a half is the outside date, right? But hopefully as soon as possible, right? So year and a half or sooner is the goal. And so he's going to do everything in his power to move faster.
Well, and truthfully, I don't know if that's attainable or not.
Maybe the year and a half is as soon as possible, and 2 years is more.
I mean, they have it set for a 2-year course, right? but hopefully with my experience and knowing a bunch
being in
about
the
being in
field for years,
then that hopefully I can fast forward. But I don't know if I can or not. And so right now, yes, that's my goal, and that is time bound. But if we get to, if life throws us a curveball or whatever, then we can adjust that. But,
right? Because and being realistic is part of the SMART goals, right? And
Yes.
so if it's just not possible to do it in a year and a half, as soon as possible could be 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So the as soon as possible isn't specific enough, but the year and a half is specific, and we can adjust as necessary, right? Also, the someday part of it leads to failure, right?
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
No, you gotta be.
Yeah, you have to be completely honest with yourself, and you have to work at a goal.
You have to actually
You
have
can't
it in mind and
just-
be purposeful.
You can't just kind of hope that one day all of a sudden the goal comes past. You need to be
Like grandchildren.
you have to really be focused on whatever it is that you want to achieve.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So with our goals, this statistic, less than 10% of people who make a New Year's resolution go on to achieve it. Let's improve that stat, right, guys?
Yeah.
We can do better with ourselves. We want to improve our lives in some way. So let's
just do it, right?
not be quitters.
Yeah.
Let's succeed, right? We can succeed with effort and planning and intention and motivation, right? And if you set a SMART goal, then you are more likely to have success. And we want you to succeed. We want you to be happy and successful in your life. So your homework is to make a SMART goal for the new year. Whatever it is. It can be little, like I would like to have my dishes done every day before I go to bed. That's...
Yeah. Don't shoot for the moon if you're not used to it. Right.
The big hairy the
BHAG
is, if you're not good at achieving goals yet, the BHAG is a little out of your realm of possibilities, right? You need it to be attainable and relevant. You can have that, but make a smaller one that will help take you closer to being that BHAG, being attainable.
Well, and truthfully, some of the goals that we can set, they can be enjoyable goals. Yeah. And I think most people associate goals with something that I got to get this done, right? But you could have a goal to improve relationships, and
and we're big on that goal.
And coupled with that, it's like one of the things you could do is every Friday night or whatever, do this activity, right? So you can set in a goal with happy things as the stepping stones,
Right.
That once again that hits all the happy things,
The happy things.
all the happy things, whatever.
Alrighty, you have a wonderful week, and we'll hopefully see you next time.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.